Once upon a time, in a snowy kingdom, a kind queen dreamed of a baby with skin as white as snow, lips as red as berries, and hair as black as ebony. Before long, a little girl arrived, and they named her Snow White. She grew up gentle and helpful, feeding the birds in the garden and humming while she worked. After the queen passed away, the king married a new queen who was beautiful but very proud. She owned a magic mirror and asked it every day, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" At first the mirror said, "You are," but as Snow White grew, the mirror told the truth. Snow White is kinder and fairer than all. The new queen grew jealous and sent a huntsman to take Snow White far from the castle. The huntsman was good-hearted. He whispered, "Run into the forest and find friends. Stay safe." Snow White ran past tall trees and a singing stream until she found a tiny house tucked into a hillside. She knocked, knock, 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 then peeped inside. Everything was small and neat. 7 little chairs, 7 little bowls, and 7 little beds in a row. Snow White tidied up, set a wild flower in a cup, and fell fast asleep. That evening, 7 dwarfs came home from their work in the mountains. "Who cleaned our house?" they wondered. They found Snow White and listened as she told her story. "You may stay with us," they said, "if you help with the home, and remember, never open the door to strangers." Snow White agreed and made warm soup, swept the floor, and watered the window box. The days filled with chores and cheerful songs. Back at the castle, the queen asked her mirror again and learned Snow White was safe. Disguised as a peddler, she carried a shiny comb to the little house and called, "Pretty combs for pretty hair." Snow White did not open the door, but the peddler held up the gift through the window. When Snow White tried the comb, she grew very, very sleepy. The dwarfs hurried back, gently took out the comb, and Snow White woke with a yawn. "Thank you," she said. "I'll be more careful." The queen tried again, this time with a rosy red apple. She knocked, knock, knock, but Snow White kept the door closed. "I'll leave you half," the peddler said, placing it outside. It smelled so sweet that Snow White took a tiny bite and drifted into a deep, quiet sleep. The dwarfs were worried. They laid her in a clear glass bed so she could rest, and they kept kind watch day and night. One sunny day, a prince rode by, helping villagers build a bridge over the stream. He saw the little house, heard the dwarfs' sad voices, and came to help them move the glass bed to a warmer, brighter place. As they lifted it, the bed bumped a tree root toops, and a small piece of apple popped free. Snow White sat up with a big achoo. Everyone cheered. Snow White smiled and said, "I remember nano food from strangers." The prince admired her gentle heart and asked to take her to meet his friends in the valley. The dwarfs waved and went along, and there was a happy celebration with music, flags, and a big pot of soup. When the king heard the news, he sent blessings. As for the queen, people told her plainly, "Kindness is what makes someone truly beautiful." She left the castle to learn how to live kindly, and the mirror no longer heard lonely questions. Snow White and the Prince had a warm wedding day. Birds swooped and sang. The 7 dwarfs danced in their little boots, and neighbors laughed together. Snow White thanked everyone who had helped her and kept one simple promise. When you're home alone, you don't open the door for strangers. From then on, they lived happily, choosing kindness, helping friends, and keeping their hearts wide open to all good things.